Now, sometimes I have people shudder when I start to speak about controlling a conversation. I don't mean being a dictator or demanding where the conversation goes. I simply mean this. In any conversation, somebody is going to be steering the direction, and most of the time the people who are steering the conversation don't even realize they're doing it or where they're even taking it. So when I say controlling the conversation, this should have a positive connotation. It simply means being able to keep conversations on track and assist people on focusing on the most beneficial parts of communication. We'll begin talking about one of the most valuable tools in the art of controlling the direction of a conversation. It's a process called chunking. In any conversation, when working with a topic, an idea or notion, whatever the subject matter might be, we have three basic directions that we can take that conversation, or what we refer to as chunking the conversation. You see, we can chunk up, we can chunk down, and we can chunk sideways. And each of these directions will produce a very predictable turn of events. So depending upon the direction of where you want to take the conversation, what exactly will determine which direction you want to chunk the topic of conversation? For example, whenever you chunk up, you move into a higher level of abstraction. You become broader and more open-ended. When this occurs, some interesting things happen. For one, the objections become less solid. In fact, the higher that you chunk, the less objections someone can have. So the higher you chunk up, the more opportunity for agreement you're going to create in the conversation. Then you have chunking down. When you chunk down, you move into specificity and things become more closed or tied down. When this occurs, interesting things happen as well, and I'll bet you can probably predict what they are. For one, the opportunity for objections increases because the more detailed something becomes, the more things there are to nitpick about. When you chunk laterally, you're exploring other options or other similar topics. With lateral or sideways chunking, you can sometimes break the boundaries of people's limitations. You see, if someone thinks that there's only one way to do something, lateral thinking might help them to realize other options that they are not even aware of at the time.